Welcome back to the Final Fantasy Tactics All Oracles Single Class Challenge, recorded here in late December of 2021. Today we are heading to the battle where we have to meet and rescue Mustadio. This battle took me a few rolls, and you'll see why. Probably you can guess why if you've played much of this battle before. It's actually a pretty tricky fight if you don't have access to a good array of different things, especially protection from the wizards. The wizards are going to be the biggest problem in this fight. They can run right up to that wall, and they can hit you with their ranged attacks, just like we can hit enemies with ranged attacks, except the difference is that wizards have some spells that are going to be one-shot KOs for a lot of our characters, depending on compatibilities and such. So that's a huge problem. We really can't have the wizards getting too many spells off. So a lot of this is going to rely on getting the wizards to be silenced or to doubt faith or some way, or of course on the ground or petrified. Some way that they're not going to be casting on us all the time. So in some of my other roles of this fight, I saw some really interesting things like knights back there with them randomly having heal, the I think it's a squire ability. Where they can just kind of walk over and just take away a negative status of someone. And when they have something like that, it's super annoying when I really need those wizards to be in in silent status. I don't think we see that in this particular role. We also see Agrias is an oracle now, and Agrias has a full range of spells that she can pick from, and it is really curious to see what she goes for. I've seen her in a few of these other roles go for things like Doubt Faith on our characters. I think that's probably because Agrias can sense that there's a magic user in this fight among the enemies, and so Agrias goes for Doubt Faith to protect us from the damage spells that are coming in from these magic users. But of course, Doubt Faith renders us as well completely unable to cast anything. So I, like a couple times in other roles of this fight, just to kind of preserve an attempt, I would cast Silence or Doubt Faith on Agrias while she was charging, the Innocent. So, also, of course, you want to not have your characters bunched up in this battle. You don't want to have them where they're in range of taking a lot of hits from those black mages there. So we've got to have them spaced out in such a way that I can't get multiples with big bolt 2s and fire 2s that these guys are going to be throwing at us. But also I want to get kind of aggressive with getting those wizards taken care of. I really would like them to be silenced. So that oracle over there could not quite get to the range that I wanted her to. Ramza here is technically in range of getting to a multi-targeted bolt spell or something from one of these guys, so the hope is just that we can get these silences off before those guys get a turn. That knight is not able to get to us, so it doesn't really know what to do. Kind of a waiting move right there. The wizard is really taking a while to think of this, because I'm guessing that the wizard is checking that there's a silence spell being cast on him. So I think that these guys are what I think speedrunners would call marked for silence, because check this out. It's trying to figure out what to do, because the game presumes, like in a lot of speedruns of this game, they take advantage of what's called marked for death, and that's where if you have something charging on you that is going to knock you out, then the game treats you as if you're already gone. So you can cast a death spell or a doom spell on somebody, and while it's charging, other enemies will just leave you alone, because I think the game is programmed to not waste actions when things are marked for doom like that. So I think these wizards are marked for silence, so these wizards are like, I shouldn't charge a spell because I have something targeting me, even though it's not 100%, that is going to silence me. And so as it is, that actually missed that wizard. So that wizard would have been perfectly safe to charge up a spell, but was not to be. And that one missed as well. So here we have two silence castings that miss. Now here's Agrias charging Sleep, and that missed on that wizard as well. So you can see we've had great luck so far in this fight, but I'm actually hopeful about that, because it seems like marking these wizards for silence, just getting a silence spell charged on them, functions like them having silence. I'm checking the skills and abilities of these guys. So that knight does not have heal or basic skill. And so that's what I was really looking for. I wanted to see what secondary spell the wizards had. And I wanted to see if the knights had heal. This time they didn't. Looks like they have. One of them has punch art from the monk. It's pretty cool. I don't know if we see that here. Maybe we do. So anyway, we're staying spread out back here. Because I don't want to get them all bunched up right at the wall in case the wizards do get something going. Just want to see how far away we are from some of these. But with so many enemies and allies in these battles, and sometimes it could take a while to charge some of those bigger spells like Petrify. So we're looking at Silence again. Gonna try to get that taken care of. Move to where I can get this guy. Counting tiles, of course. And here we go. It's going to fire off right away. We'll see if I can actually land Silence. It's going to go right here. 89% chance was a good one right there. So now I just need a wizard not to be healing him up. Or a knight not to be healing him up. So now this is curious because this Oracle could maybe finish that wizard off. That wizard's got really low hit points in this fight. So I'm looking at, like, oh, what can I do? Is there anything that's going to go off right away? And there really isn't anything or isn't much. That wizard's got really low hit points. Sadly, I can't just plunk them from right there. I'm going to need Mustadio to go again. But the wizard being in low hit points might help. So let me see what I go for here. We go for a life drain. Oh, even life drain is not quite enough because the total hit points of that wizard is so low. And so I'm looking at what my chances are for each thing. Looking at Petrify, checking Silence. And that's the way I go. And so that wizard is now marked for Silence again. So I don't know if that wizard's going to come up and want to cast on us. Part of that might depend, too, on when the Silence will go. Maybe if the wizard has access to a spell that will go before Silence will be cast. I don't know if it's smart enough to figure that out, or if it just says, oh, a Silence is incoming on you. Better just go up and take a swing at Mustadio with your stick. So here's Ramza going to try to finish the wizard off with a Petrify. Because Silence, of course, is not permanent. It is golden, but it's not permanent. And yeah, the wizard's taking a long time again, so this, I imagine, is, yes, this is a marked for Silence activity here. Taking a swing with a Poison Rod, and I'll take that all day. I will take a 9 damage swing with a Poison Rod over a Bolt 2, with squishy characters like this especially. And archers so far pretty ineffective. I think these archers can sometimes have longbows, sometimes have crossbows. So here comes Silence. Now, unfortunately, Silence is going to hit us as well, and it missed as it happens. And it missed the wizard and hit her, so she gets the experience from it. Yay! But sadly, didn't silence the character I wanted to silence. There's a nice counter dash from Mustadio. Thank you, Mustadio. But that wizard will go down to a physical attack now if that other Oracle gets a turn. Agrius is charging a spell. She's going to try to petrify that wizard. So I don't know if I can block that doorway. And I'm fine blocking the doorway from me as far as we're concerned. I don't really have any need to walk in there. We have plenty of range, and the enemies will come up to us. We don't need to come to them too much. So I'm looking at what can do what, and I'm looking at the effectivity of each one. Sleep looks good right here, because that wizard is still silenced for another turn or two. And we see if we can actually finish that wizard off with a Petrify right here. Yes. Boom. One wizard is out. Those two knights are going to be going to sleep. And that's fine for me. And looks like she's going to charge Petrify. So she can move, or she could wait right there. Moving's going to get her some MP, but it's also going to take her CT all the way down to 0 instead of starting her back up at, I think, 40. So she needed a little bit of MP there because we're going to be casting a few more times. We've got to get a couple more Petrifies. I don't want to have to be trying to damage these guys with Life Drain all the way. And there's that one petrified too. So this already, when I was playing this, I was like, oh, that looks good. And even just discovering the charging silence on a wizard will make them act as if they already have silence. That was another good discovery here. That's probably going to be really important as the game goes on when I have battles against magic users. So she just moved. She's silent, so she can't really do anything. So if she's just going to move and wait, there's not much she can do. She can use physical attacks, which we may see later, but there's nobody in range now, and I don't want to have her charge in. So I think I just had her move to have a more central location and to get some MP. So yeah, there's a crossbow, and she's going to attack her own knight to wake him up. So enemies will do that. Sometimes they will attack their own people, and so it's another crossbow. So this is actually a really bad battle for them to have crossbows. That's a really bad tactical error that these enemies have made, because you would, with a wall like this, you would want a weapon that could shoot over the wall. The longbows can shoot over the wall. Crossbows cannot at all. So looking at this knight, seeing what I can do. That knight's gonna start making his way, or can start making his way over the wall now, because you do have another way for the wall to go here. And she's gonna try to check petrify, 53%, and that's a pretty good roll for this point in the game. We have a silenced archer there. Agrius is going to move and throw something at the archer. I'm not sure what. Petrify. So that's a nice chance to hit. 68. Rams has failed. This oracle is still silenced, I believe. So here we go. Bam. That's our stick, and that's the first time we've seen the 2-tile stick attacks. So the sticks are available now. We are going to be using those quite a bit, especially in random battles that I want to finish quickly. The oracles now have a good way of doing reliable, decent damage. Besides the life drain. Life drain takes a long time and it's not as reliable. Sticks are pretty good. You get behind a guy, get to the side, and just go to town with a stick. And I love that range of 2. That range of 2 is really great for these sticks. So happy to see that finally pop up. Again, these characters have been leveled beyond the level of their equipment for quite some time. So I've got characters whose level is fairly high, but I'm like, so if I only had access to these later game equipment, like sticks and some of the better robes. Still waiting on getting those wizard robes. I've been seeing wizard robes on enemies for a long time, especially random battle enemies like knights, but I have not been able to get any to drop. I'm still using silk robes, I think, from the very first couple of towns. So I'm way behind on my robes. And I think I have triangle hats on as the game's going on here. So once I can get those upgrades, they'll be nice. So that archer's going to charge on Mustadio. Again, I don't care about Mustadio. Mustadio can stand there all day. And at this point in the battle, I could probably just about let Mustadio take care of that archer for us. We're getting a little bit more aggressive now that the knights are gone. And so right here, I'm looking at sleep, because sleep has some vertical tolerance right there. So sleep will target the archer even though she's 1/2 of a height downhill from my targeting spot. Some other of the spells from oracles like Paralyze, they will not go over that. But that Petrify does land indeed, and so we don't need to worry about that sleep, and that is Mustadio rescued. If you like these videos, feel free to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, make a comment, or hit me up on Twitter where I'm also active _ATE. We will see you in the next battle.